Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're going to start off the video with a little bit of a flex, but it's going to snowball into tips on being number one. Now, this can actually apply to free-to-play players, believe it or not, if you dedicate enough resources and time into your favorite character. And I actually know quite a few free-to-play and low-spending players who just really love one particular Marvel character. They're not interested in being the best in Marvel Future Fight. They're not interested in pushing the meta, but they really want to have the number one Quasar or the number one Daisy Johnson, Quake. So these tips are going to help you get not only the number one character on the regular character rankings, but I'm also going to talk about two auxiliary rankings that are related to the regular character growth score. By the way, everything I'm saying in this video also applies to help you improve your dispatch passive rewards. So there's actually a ton of value to watching this video, even if you have no intention of investing your resources into getting a number one character. So I'm starting off by showing you that I have the number one currently. It's not going to last for long because people will have a target on my back. People are going to come for me. That's what I think anyways. Shout out to Old George, by the way, Alliance member. But right now I have the number one ranking for Supergiant. And just to, I am humble here. I'm rank 292 for Proxima. I'm ranked 460 for Quicksilver. I'm not even ranked for Scarlet Witch, Cable, or Apocalypse. I'm only ranked 39 for Null, despite playing him for months, and I'm only ranked 21 for Mephisto. I'm not doing. I mean, it's a little flex here, but I'm gonna give you guys a lot more information so that if you want to be on this list, or if you were on this list and you got bumped down by some smug jerk with a mustache, you can knock him back off. So how did I get number one to start off with? I got 11,959,000, which is a lot. It's over 100,000 more than Old George's 11,800,000. So how did I do it? Well, I'll tell you what. I did not do it with Beta Ray Bill, Phi Lavelle, and Coulson. It's actually a lot misleading. The team that it's showing you that I cleared it with is actually the last team that I cleared it with today. And we had this other thing in another video where I thought that I could improve my score by playing practice mode. You can't actually do that. It has to be one of your live plays. But the attempt that actually got me that score was not the Beta Ray Bill attempt, even though that attempt was a one-shot. The attempt that actually got me that score, and I'll just reveal my secret here because, again, I'm not really interested in holding on to the spot or anything. It was this team right here. And you will be surprised by this team because they're the oldest team in Marvel Future Fight. That's right. Captain America, Iron Man, and Black Widow, the OG 3 characters that you start off the game with. You get them first, you get them free for tier 2. They got the 30.99 uniforms. These are literally the oldest characters in the game. They are character number 1, 2, and 3. These were the characters that I cleared it with. Are these the best characters in the game? No. Can I one-shot with Iron Man? He's the best out of the 3 to do Supergiant 99, but no, I can't one-shot with Iron Man. So what's going on? Well, it turns out, and I just found this out by testing it, and again, I've been playing for 6 years. World Boss Ultimate's been around for 3 years, and I only figured this out now. I only bothered to test it now, but the character's growth score that you use to clear a World Boss Ultimate or World Boss Legend stage actually adds a lot of base score to your clear time, to your overall clear. And the clear time, like the amount of time it takes you to clear, doesn't really add that much. So one-shotting it with a team that has very low growth score is actually worth a lot fewer points than doing it with a team like this. And you can just go ahead and see the growth score on these characters to figure it out. So I've got 514,000 growth score on Iron Man. I've got 538,000 on Black Widow. And then the number one ranked growth score character for me and for a lot of other players, just by virtue of having a ton of uniforms, is Captain America with 567,000. Now you're probably scratching your head and wondering, how the hell are these characters' growth scores so freaking high? Well, it's because they have a ton of uniforms, and every single uniform that you mythic, especially if you have every optional uniform for those, which I do, all of those will add to the growth score. That's why, even though I have 0 Odin's Blessings on Captain, or 0 on Captain America, I have 1 on Iron Man, and I have 0 on Black Widow, their growth score is way higher than Null's, who I have like 15 Odin's Blessings, or Mephisto, because they're rocking a measly 361 and 350. And that's because they have no uniforms. The uniforms add a ton of growth score. So that's the first tip I have for you. If you want your characters to have a very high growth score, if you want to be rank 369 or rank 50 or rank 20, you're going to need to get every single uniform that the character has, and you're going to need to mythic every single one of those uniforms, and you're going to need to make sure that they have all of the optionals unlocked, and I believe you also need to make sure that the optionals are all mythic. I'm not 100% sure about that, but you need to have all the optionals unlocked for sure because they add stats. You know what? I do think all the optionals need to be mythic as well because it'll add more stats, and then those stats will add to your growth score. So yeah, all of the optionals do need to be mythic as well. So it's a lot of investment, and that's just the uniforms. If I wanted to, although it doesn't add as much growth score, the majority of the growth score is coming from the uniforms, I could give them all a CTP with a very high roll. CTPs of Authority and CTPs of Destruction are best for this. You could even go for a Mighty Transcendence or a Brilliant Transcendence if you're insane. Again, you could also go for a Mighty or Brilliant Energy or Judgment or Regen. Stage 12 of any ISO set does not matter. The ISO don't even have to match the set as long as they're stage 12 and they have a high roll. And you can actually look at the minimums and maximums for the numbers because they're not always the same. You can see this one's 276 and 522, but this one's 279 and 517. So this ISO is adding more to my growth score than this other ISO on the left. So you got to max those out as well. 20 Odin's Blessings here would obviously bump my growth score. Making sure that my blast enhancement is rank 6 would also boost my my score here. So we're going to use this ticket here on Iron Man, and we're going to bump his growth score from 369 up to, let's see, I think he's staying at 369, but he did gain 277. So I just moved almost 100 spots just by doing the type enhancement. So the type enhancement has to be maxed out. All the skills have to be maxed out. All the Odin's Blessings and all of the Uru have to be amplified. And if you do all of that and you have perfect rolls on your CTP and you have perfect rolls on your ISO, you will be rank 1. Another easy way to figure out how to get rank 1 for a character as far as the growth score goes specifically is to just go and see what did NSJ Iron Man, what did they do? And then just take a look at their build. Again, this is not going, then the tricky part here is brilliant, of course. The tricky part here is this is not going to be the best build. This is not going to be the best Iron Man in the game, but it's going to be the number 1 for growth score. And the growth score is then going to affect the world boss records if you want to go for number 1 in world boss. It's also going to affect, and these were the other things that I wanted to tell you about ranking, right? If you wanted to get the number 1 Iron Man or you wanted to get the number 1 Ant-Man, let's say, not only is the growth score for Ant-Man going to work in your favor for getting number 1 Ant-Man if you build him up, but it's also going to help for any legendary battles where the character is applied. So for example, if you love Thor, and a lot of people do, for the Thor legendary battle, you want to be number 1 for the ranking. Again, it's not for everybody, but some people really like that. So you go over here and you look at the clear ranking. The clear ranking has data. The data is how fast you clear it and your growth score on your Thor. So having your Thor more built up will mean that you will get a higher score. So I guarantee you all these characters, all these players that you see from rank 1 to rank 4, they have an absolutely stacked Thor. And there's no doubt in my mind about that because they have a very high growth score for him. So we're just gonna go find his Thor here. And yeah, we got a brilliant judgment. No surprise there. Do we have 20 Odin's Blessings? We do have 20 Odin's Blessings. How did I do that? Is it magic? Am I telepatia? No, telepatia, sorry. Am I? No, I'm not. It's just because this is how it works for the rankings. Again, this is not the best system. Doesn't mean these are the best Thors you're looking at. But if you want to rank, if you want to see your name on these leaderboards for multiple different things, they're actually all going to require basically the same thing for those specific characters. So it's interesting to see that it sort of double and triple dips. It kind of gives you a little bit more value. This is still a Wales game for sure, and this is still a Wales gambit as far as getting number 1. But it kind of softens the blow when you know, okay, I got my rank 1 Ant-Man, and Ant-Man, although he doesn't have as many uniforms as Cap and Black Widow, he's actually not that far behind. So I actually have 430,000. Maybe I can make it work for some World Boss Ultimate clears and get top 5 or something, or top 3, and then I can also get number 1 for the Ant-Man Legendary Battle. But wait, there's more. Remember at the beginning of the video when I mentioned dispatch? Well, if you go into dispatch and you go into the dispatch itself, like you click on one of the sectors and then you click the big blue dispatch mission, the dispatch icon at the top right, you will see characters here. And you can actually see right under the word dispatch, it's sort of cut off, but you can see their growth score. 306,900, 290 for Crescent, 376,000 for Vision, 276,907 for Spectrum, and so on and so forth. Those growth scores will cumulatively add up. So you can see here my growth grade for Sector 5 is 303,330. And if I can push it, if I can build up these specific characters or swap characters here and there, I can push that to the next level. And pushing that to the next level means it's going to give me more rewards, because as you see there, it's got a 30%. The 30% is giving me the bonus supply, and the 7.5% is giving me, you can see, increased combat power to earn additional dispatch XP, excuse me. So you get more dispatch XP. So what that essentially means is if you farm a specific zone, you're gonna want to not only stack as many of your high growth grade characters as you can on that zone, but if you haven't built those characters up specifically and you have no one else to slot in for, you should build up those characters. So for example, I do a lot of overnight farming on 10-1. It's the highest sector, so it's going to give me the most amount of dispatch XP. But if you check Sector 10, my combat power growth grade is kind of low. It's 5.5% additional dispatch XP instead of the 7% or 8% that I was getting from the lower sectors. So I have a choice here. I can either go to one of the lower sectors like 7 or 8. I still want those premium rewards, so I don't want to go lower than 7 because you want to get some of these premium reward drops that are possible here, right? Like the premium cards, the Odin's Blessings, etc. But maybe then what I have to do is I have to build up the growth score on these characters. Now, it's going to be a lot harder to build up the growth score on some of these characters like Cersei and Kid Omega, Rachel Summers, etc. because they have no uniform, right? Uniforms are usually the easiest and the cheapest way without investing tons of premium resources, Odin's Blessings, CTPs. It's the easiest way to build up your growth score, but you can't just fabricate uniforms out of thin air. So what I would do, and my suggestion to you, would be to build up their type enhancement, because almost all of these characters have type enhancement available that's probably not maxed out. I'm actually also going to use auto equip here. Yeah, look at that. I actually just didn't have these characters equipped at all. So it pays to once in a while check this out and make sure that you've got the maximum equipped there, because I just jumped from 5.5, I believe, to 6.5. And if I can push it to 17, which is almost impossible here because I'm barely 200,000 and it's 400,000 for the next level there. But if I could, I would get an extra 1%. So again, you know, maybe what I actually want to do is farm Sector 9, because you can see I'm at 11% for the growth grade. But getting those growth grades up matters a lot. So building up lots of characters, if you can afford it, if you have the resources for it, obviously it's a bit of a juggling, exercise, but it definitely helps. It pays dividends in so many different game modes. I'm actually going to farm Sector 9 from now on. 11% is crazy. I think the base XP plus 11% is way more worth it than the base XP plus 6.5. It's almost double the plus. And you can see here, no surprise, such a high combat power. I got Captain America, Thor, Ant-Man, Iron Man, Black Widow. All these characters have so many uniforms. Thor, Deadpool. So yeah, very interesting sort of topic in my opinion, that sort of in my head connected all these dots that I previously had known about, but I hadn't necessarily connected the dots. And now with dispatch being more important and being a valuable source of both passive and active farming, it's paying off even more. So in these sort of subtle ways, you're being rewarded more and more for building up your roster, right? Building wide rather than building tall and narrow does have its benefits. It does have its drawbacks, of course, but make sure you're taking advantage of some of these benefits, especially if you didn't know about them already, so you can get more resources out of your, your daily gameplay. You can put them back in towards your account, and you can start that cycle all over again. And who knows? Maybe you'll have a new rank 1 character and you'll be hitting me up and saying, yo, Cynicalex, check me out. I'm the new #1 ranked Whiplash. What it do? And I'll be like, what it do, baby? So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know if you have any rank 1 characters. I, unfortunately, do not. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.